Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. I'm kind of Looney Tunes today, but I do. I love books. Okay, so today is a book review, and I am going to review, I hope I pronounced his last name right, because I haven't so many times before, Chris BOHJALIAN's The Flight Attendant. Did I get it even close? So here is the cover of the book with my horrible ring light, if you guys haven't seen it. Anyway, and let me read it to you. It right now on Goodreads has an average an average rating of 3.75 out of 5. It only has 3,265 ratings, so it's rather new. It came out March 13th, 2018 by Doubleday. It is 368 pages long, the Kindle edition. And here I will read you more about the author. If it opens. Oh, it's just really, really long. He has a lot to say about himself. No, anyway. So let me read you what this book is about, okay? Cassandra Bowden is no stranger to hungover mornings. She's a binge drinker, her job with the airline making it easy to find adventure, and the occasional blackouts seem to be inevitable. She lives with them and the accompanying self-loathing. When she awakens in a Dubai hotel room, she tries to piece the previous night back together, already counting the minutes until she has to catch her cruise shuttle to the airport. She quietly slides out of bed, careful not to aggravate her already pounding head, and looks at the man who she spent the night with. She sees his dark hair, his utter stillness, and blood, a slick... This is so poorly written, I'm just going to say. I mean, when you have a book that is out, that is on the bestseller list, and this caption is, like, so grammatically incorrect, like, hello, this needs to be fixed, I'm just going to tell you. Oh, my God. His utter stillness is one sentence. She sees his dark hair, his utter stillness, and blood... A slick, still wet pool on the crisp white sheets. Afraid to call the police, she's a single woman alone in a hotel room far from home. Cassie begins to lie. She lies as she joins the other flight attendants and pilots in the van. She lies on the way to Paris as she works the first-class cabin. She lies to the FBI agents in New York who meet her at the gate. Soon, it's too late to come clean or face the truth about what really happened back in Dubai. Could she have killed him? If not, who did? Okay, so I gave this book... After having finished it yesterday, like 84%, like 4 stars on Goodreads. I actually haven't even rated it yet on there, but I'm going to give it like a 4-star. It was good. It was a good thriller. It felt like a mix between literary fiction and a thriller. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. So... the book is about this Cassie Bowden, who is a flight attendant. She's like 40, it's something like that, and very good looking, and she is a blackout drinker. And the one thing about this book that is absolutely so fantastic is that he does such a great job of really describing the life of the alcoholic and the alcoholic shame that goes along with all that kind of stuff, and, you know, really talking about, like, how she started drinking and how it ended up where she is today. And as somebody that's in recovery from alcoholism and addiction, it was really interesting to hear that backstory. Now, here's the thing, okay? On the heels of The Woman in the Window and this book, and they're just, you guys, the narrator that you can't trust, it's a blackout alcoholic, is kind of like the catchphrase character of 2018. If I read one more book, I'm like, I don't know that I can do it again, okay? Like, I think it's kind of a kitschy idea once or twice, but when you're doing it over and over and over again, it doesn't work every time, you know what I mean? And, it's hard to have an untrustworthy narrator, it really is, because you don't know what to trust. And the thing here is that she's so honest about her own drinking and how problematic it is that you trust her. So it works in the context of this book. It almost kind of works more than The Woman in the Window, if that makes sense. But here's the thing. From the get-go, right from the beginning, you know who did it and who didn't do it. The reader does. And it really kind of bothered me at the beginning. I was like, I don't like books that kind of reveal the mystery and you don't get to figure it out on your own. But it isn't really a mystery. It's more of a thriller to find out, oh, Boo Radley wants to be in the videos. He says, Dad, I don't ever get to be in any videos anymore. He was like, that Boo Radley gets to be in all the videos, or Pee-Pee gets to be in all the videos, doesn't he? But oh no. He said, that Pee-Pee gets to be in all the videos. Pee-Pee's like, I don't know that I like this. You guys are best friends, aren't you? Pee-Pee said, I'm ready to go back and take a nap. But anyway, Dogs, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. They're all running around. Okay. Oh, hi, boo. So anyway, I don't even know where I was at. Nobody watches the reviews anyway. No, I mean, you guys do, some of you out there. But, like, here's the thing, okay? It's not a mystery, it's a thriller. But then it turns into a mystery at the end because all this stuff happens in, like, the last, like, fourth. And I don't hate him for it, okay? It made the book real interesting. I never was bored of the book. It just kind of, like, I was ready for some stuff to happen, if that makes sense. The last fourth of the book is like the climax of a thriller movie. I mean, it's fantastic. The only thing I didn't like is that, like, two things are pulled out at the very end. And one is like a character that's like, I never expected this character to turn out the way that it did. Ever. Like, it wasn't even, like, it didn't even make any sense. Like, I mean, it did, but it was very, like, Alfred Hitchcocky movie, kind of. And then the second thing was, like, I did kind of see something coming up. I can't explain it without spoiling it. Y'all know I don't do spoiler reviews, right? But, like, she's accused of something throughout the whole book, okay? I mean, they think she's a spy. That's what it is, okay? Through the whole book, they're, like, speculating whether or not she's a spy, okay? But you realize at some point she's not, but somebody is. And then it's like, and this isn't ruining it for anybody, but then at that point you're kind of like, okay, but this, like, then you guess it, like, right away. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And I think it could have been 10 times scarier. You know, like, she has these moments when she's, like, in New York City walking around, and it very much reminded me of the movie with Roy Scheider and Meryl Streep called Still of the Night back in the day. And it could have been terrifying. Like, he could have had her walk through, like, you know, tunnels in Central Park or all this kind of stuff. No, she walks, like, in a store in one entrance, out the other, and there's nobody even there, right? But, like, I think it would have been really good to feed off of her paranoia, especially since a lot of alcoholics have severe paranoia anyway. I thought it would have been fantastic to do that. I think there were ways to make the book 10 times scarier. It's really not getting that many good reviews. And what's interesting to me about that is, it's not great, but it's not horrible. Like, am I disappointed I read the book? No, not at all. It was a fantastic read. I read it on my way back from Miami. I started it. So it was kind of fun to read while I was on a plane and in an airport, you know, because a lot of it takes place, like, learning about planes. And he did his research. You can tell it's very well researched. And it's an interesting book. It's a fun read. It's, you know, you get to know kind of the backstory of this character. You get to learn a little bit more about alcoholism and the shame that goes along with it. That's where I say it feels a little bit more like literary fiction and not so much just like a mystery thriller. I think there are some things I would have tweaked? Yes. And it feels, and I'm only saying this as a writer, it feels like he wrote the end first and knew where he was headed. Because, and that's okay. A lot of writers do that. But it felt like it was, like, tied up very perfectly at the end. And then, like, getting there was kind of a little messy at times. Also, what happens to a major female character in this book? Like, she's a major part of the book. Like, she has her own chapters, and then all of a sudden it's just like they end her story, like, real quick. And it's like, what? Like, what? Like, it just comes out of nowhere, right? So it's almost kind of like he was like, I've got to get this, like, wrapped up and finished. And I think that it could have been, I don't know, I wouldn't say 100 times better. I thought it was well done. I thought it was successful. I just think it could have been so much more had it been a little bit more realized where he was going with it. And the true mystery, okay, the real mystery of this book is about Cassie Bowden, the flight attendant. Like, she's really the mystery of the book. And I was almost kind of hoping, God, this is where I wish I could do spoiler reviews. I was almost kind of hoping towards the end of the book that, like, I had her figured out wrong, if that makes sense. Because I was like, now that would make an interesting book. But then it wouldn't have been true to who she was as a person. So I understand as a writer why he stuck to the truth instead of, like, going to the other direction. But it was good. You know, and I'm ready for a lot of these kind of books to come out in 2018. You know, this very kind of intellectual thriller, intellectual mystery is what everybody is wanting right now. I mean, these are everywhere. And I think, you know, that back in the day with the David Baldaccis and the James Pattersons and all that kind of stuff, those books would sell out because they were mysteries that people could really relate to. And they were thrillers that people could really relate to because they were quick reads. They were 2 pages for a chapter, on and on and on. But these kind of intellectual thrillers that you have to kind of really think about feel very much to me like watching a movie to some extent. But they're also about normal, everyday people like, housewives and flight attendants and people that work in offices. So it's very relatable. And for me to be able to read something, my throat started itching like crazy. For me to read about characters that are relatable, that are going through mysteries and thrillers is really fun because it kind of brings it home. And that's why we read thrillers anyway, because we want to get a little scared. We want to be a little thrilled, so to speak. So anyway, yeah, I'd give it about an 84, 85%, 4 stars. I would definitely recommend it. If you like thrillers, you'll love it. And I would definitely, if this is another recommendation, if you're going to go on a vacation, I would take it and read it on the plane because it makes it 10 times more fun. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.